Weird. Huh, cool. Okay. Hi. Thank you both for being here today. Before we begin the session, I want to take just a few moments to explain the purpose of our time together and to go over some important information about confidentiality. So, this intake session is part of an academic assignment for my couple and family therapy course. So, the purpose of the session is to help assess your relationship and identify any concerns you may be experiencing in your marriage or family life. So we'll be walking through a pre-screening assessment that you completed, and I'll guide you through a structured set of questions designed to better understand the dynamics of y'all's relationship. So now we can jump into confidentiality. So everything shared in this session will be treated with the highest level of respect and privacy. This recording is being created solely for the purpose of my academic training, so it will be submitted to my course instructor for evaluation, and the video will be marked unlisted on YouTube. So it will only be directed for the link for somebody who I share a link with. And so it won't be shared publicly. So your names or any identifiable information will not be used in my final written report. And so if at any point you're uncomfortable with any part of this process, you have the right to pause or stop the session. Your participation is completely voluntary. And I also want to clarify that although I am facilitating this session, I'm not acting as a licensed therapist. So the session does not constitute formal therapy or clinical treatment. So it's strictly for educational purposes and to demonstrate counseling skills in a mock intake session. So do you guys understand everything?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Crystal
ma'am.
clear.
Okay, so great. Let's begin. So I have a couple of questions for you guys. The first one is, what made you decide to seek couples counseling at this time?
I think it's just always good to seek the advice of professionals and get professional guidance, especially in a relationship, and especially even if there aren't major problems or even minor problems, to focus on honing our skills in communication and dispute resolution and to strengthen our relationship on the things we care about, like our faith, our beliefs with respect to family, those kind of things.
Mhm. And also just being newly married, it's good to stay on top of things before they get crazy because life is always crazy and will only get crazier. And so having the skills now before kids and all that craziness is good.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We can move on to the next question. So, what would you say are the most positive parts of your relationship? And then, what are some strengths that you see in each other or in your connection overall?
I think can I go first? I think that we have very similar values and virtues, sort of down the list when it comes to things like money, religion, family, um, work, um, country, politics, those kind of things. We just align, and that gives us a strong foundation to build a friendship with each other as well, and a camaraderie, a partnership, basically. Um, it reduces that friction, I think. Do you have any thoughts?
I just love you. Sorry, you were sweet and I love you, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I agree with everything you said. And I mean, it's just so easy to go through life with you because we align on so much. And I've never saying this to one of my friends, but like, you're my best friend, and I love getting to do life with you.
I love getting to do life with you too.
Oh. Okay, so to on the other end of that, so are there any areas where you guys feel there's kind of difficulty or challenges right now?
Um, Nothing immediate comes to mind. We've definitely been together long enough to have had some stripes, and have had to do the work to work through those stripes and to disagree in a way that's healthy and to give each other the space to process our feelings. Do you have any examples that you could think of?
I was just like off the top of my head. I was thinking like planning the wedding has been stressful. Um, moving,
Mhm.
like moving for me at least twice in the last, what, 3 months has
Mhm.
been a lot. I think it's just been a lot of changes have been some of the bigger issues and like,
I'm glad you brought that up, the wedding too, because not to like play into stereotypes, but like I can own up to the fact that like as a guy, I have participated or been in the nuts and bolts a lot less. And that has caused tension where Mary Hannah will definitely have rightfully get frustrated with me when I don't know major details that are necessary for the thing to go off without a hitch. And at times I have not been great about giving her the grace to say, you know what, you're the expert on this. I need to, for lack of a better word, like shut up and listen. So
Mhm. Well, thank you for sharing. I know the wedding planning has been a lot for anybody, but yes, it's a lot. So, the next kind of lighter question. So, can you guys share a little bit about how you guys first met and what your relationship journey has looked like over time?
you want to take this?
yeah. So we met at Kirby Ice House. It was UT was playing because he went to UT, I went to OU. And I was giving him some trouble because the Longhorns can't play basketball. And it just kind of took off from there. We fell in love.
Mhm. It was off to the races after that.
Yes, but we met here in town, but at the time I was at school in North Carolina, so we had to do long distance for a couple months,
Which
sucked.
resulted in a lot of plane tickets being purchased and a lot of chasing
Yeah,
and a lot of persuasion to um come back to Texas.
I did. I did. I moved back to Texas. He won.
Came back. Okay, so this one's kind of a hypothetical. So let's just imagine for a second, you guys seem to be having a really good foundation to start on. But for a second, if God answered every prayer, because you guys mentioned you guys were religious, if you every prayer you've had in your relationship or for your relationship that you've dreamt about, and overnight everything was healed and whole, what would that look like? If there was like one thing that you or like this would be something that I need in a relationship right now, what would that be?
It's funny you say that because we just got out of church and it was about it was a sermon on Revelation.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm thrown by the question. Do you anything come to mind for you? Or do you want me to try?
I was, I don't know if this answers your question, but my first like thought was like if every prayer was answered, it wouldn't be today. It would be like years down the line, but like we have a house and the house is full of kids and we're not worried about money and you're able to work less and those kinds of things.
More time together,
Yeah,
less stress,
yeah,
more money and children.
yeah,
Which I'm sure everyone feels that way. But
probably.
yeah.
But not
Yeah.
yet.
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, everyone has to run their own race. Exactly.
But those are good goals to have. And it's good that you guys are on the same page about it too. And so to move on, so you guys mentioned that faith is a big part of y'all's relationship. So how do you think faith plays a role into the struggles you're facing and how might they help find solutions?
I think I hope this isn't a blind side, but it is a thought. It just popped into my head. But I do think like one of our biggest, I don't know if disconnects is the right answer, but like you work a lot, and so we don't really get a lot of one-on-one time where work isn't happening.
Mhm.
And I think spending more time like at church or like in the word or something where we're both just completely undistracted. I think that would help a lot with our relationship as a whole.
Absolutely. And I cherish the time where we can both just be in the Word and sort of bounce that Holy Spirit and Ghost back and forth with each other and feel it. And um, strengthen our faith just scripturally.
Mhm.
At least my faith could obviously improve with respect to that. And but that being said, I mean, I think um, our alignment on our beliefs with respect to things like salvation are really what um, pull us towards each other and not away. So
I agree.
No, I know. I love that you guys did mention that you came from church before this. So I do think that is a really good place to start a relationship personally. And so I love that you shared that. Just going forward, some just normal information. So before we go further, I just want to check in about is there any parts of y'all's backgrounds that you think are important for me to know as we talk about marriage and family, and as we move forward in our sessions, just in the beginning?
totally. I mean, my family background, I grew up I was born in wedlock and grew up with parents who were married the entire part of my childhood, but they did divorce at 18. So learning to cope as an adult child of divorce, being in a premarital and ultimately marital relationship is something that requires a lot of processing work individually. And that colors sort of our relationship to this day because both sets of grandparents on my side got married and died married. And sort of understanding that chronology and that history, I think, is super important to because it does shape my relationship with you and it shapes my expectations on things like communication and um, the sanctity of the covenant of our relationship and so forth.
Mhm. Yeah. I would say we both have very complicated families in very different ways.
Totally.
And so, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. Is there anything else? Was there anything you were hinting at? Like anything specific?
No, I just wanted to know if there was anything that you guys wanted to share, just or talk about as we move forward with it being a marriage and family counseling class. If there's anything specific that your background you think I should know moving forward. But yeah.
Mhm. I
Gotcha.
would say that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else.
And so
Nothing. Nothing comes to mind on your end.
I'm adopted. I'm adopted.
important piece.
That is an important piece.
Yeah.
Thank you. You could have just said that.
I didn't want to make you uncomfortable.
I appreciate that.
No, I
Yeah,
think
sometimes I
too.
forget.
No, yes, I was just gonna say, I feel like that's not your biggest part of your identity. So, and what it seems like from what you've shared. So, I do think that is an interesting thing to have. Okay, so as we kind of close, my last question is kind of in your pre-screening, we talked about just Jacob working a lot. Is there anything that you specifically want to dive into in the next couple sessions that we'll have coming up? But that was pretty much the only thing that stood out to me that you guys wanted to mention.
That's all I've got. I know it's sort of a big part of our relationship is sort of having uh, an income gap, right?
Mhm.
And having a time commitment gap. And I mean, it's traditional in a lot of ways, but it's also like atypical in today's day and age. And I definitely think that like maybe understanding what lessons we can learn from um, understanding that better would definitely be useful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just ways to connect when time is limited, I guess.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you guys for both sharing so openly. I know that's not easy. Based on what you've told me, I'd like to take a look at some of the things that you noted in the pre-screening and start thinking about things that might be helpful moving forward. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about today before we end?
I'm good.
I'm good
I think we
too.
got all the good stuff to get out for purposes of teeing up future
Sessions.
counseling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.